All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Delusional Fan with Geraghty and McCloud. Ryan McCloud and Chris Geraghty sitting here. It is top 5 time. Probably my favorite early segment of our show here. Anybody who knows me knows all I ever ask everybody is their top 5 favorite
top five?
anything.
Right,
Your top
right.
5. Because I always want to know. Because I always have a top 5, and I want everybody to know my top 5, whether they care or not. Today, though, we are actually doing a little bit different top 5 than even I normally do. I'm pretty excited about it. And the reason I think we brought this up was Steph Curry, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Because
we were talking about him last week or a couple weeks ago, and when he got hurt.
Right. Yeah. Because he's hurt. So Steph Curry has exploded onto the scene the last 2 years. Where he was MVP last year, and they're saying he could be most improved in MVP this year, right?
Yes.
Stupid stuff.
Yep.
Even though I don't think
historic stuff.
Even though I don't think he's as important to his team
as LeBron.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, right.
But again, what does MVP mean? Most valuable player meaning the best player in the league, or does it mean most valuable player to your team?
Sure.
LeBron's more valuable to his team. Steph, they're obviously blowing teams out without him.
What if?
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's say his ankles or his knees
shatter
become an issue.
Yeah. Right.
He's gonna be a what could have been.
Absolutely.
Right.
One of the biggest.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is a big what if. I don't want to sit here and condemn the guy. I hope he's going to be okay. But yes, this is the theory of what if it becomes a lingering issue.
You know what? Even though I'm not a big fan of today's style of basketball, I would never wish a career-ending injury on somebody that would really ruin what they could be. I appreciate someone that shoots like nobody's ever seen anything like that before, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
disrespectful. Just disrespectful. But he does it.
But you can tell he works really hard.
Yes. No, he's a killer.
He might end up number 1 on this list for me if his ankles fail, right? Yeah. So I brought this topic up to Ryan over the Steph Curry thing, and I wanted us to both kind of have free reign with this. So I want to give mine first because I peeked at your notes, and I know that you went a little off board with this.
Outside the box, man. I want to bring a different angle.
So I want to do mine first, only because mine is very basic, very simple. Right. Yeah. And I think yours is going to need some explaining.
Sure.
Okay?
Sounds good.
So my number 5 is, I don't know, it's Greg Oden.
It's Greg Oden.
I mean,
which would show up on all of your top 5.
Coming out of college, the guy he had everything. You know, it was the League of the Center at the period of time. I mean, it still kind of was. And everybody wanted that big prototypical.
Dude, you could slash Brandon Roy with that. I mean, Portland's just gotten screwed with this stuff, man.
Yes, they have.
Right. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, everybody wanted the next Shaq. Everybody wanted the next, Akeem Olajuwon.
Dude, he was good. Yeah. I mean, defensively especially, he was just. Yeah.
And obviously his legs just didn't hold up?
No. It was like hard to watch sometimes. It was like painful to watch him run up and down the floor.
Now the thing about
he got injured.
The thing about him, why I don't have him high on this list, is because like the reason Steph Curry would be one if he does, because we've seen Steph Curry perform in the NBA.
Right.
At the highest level. Which I don't think we ever saw Greg Oden play at his best.
No, man. I think he was out after his first year in the league or so. And I mean, there should have been a red flag when the 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid looks just like Bill Russell. But that's just the
old bones.
Just throw that out there.
Oh God,
old bones, right?
Now I tried to think out of the box with my next 2 picks. I went Grant Hill, even though he had a long NBA career.
Dude,
I think he would have been considered a top 5 all-time player if the injuries didn't derail his career. What do you think?
I 100% agree. Grant Hill was touted as the next guy coming out of Duke, and so of course, man, and in my opinion, LeBron before LeBron. Yeah, right, and he did have some good years, and he lasted quite a bit, but he was just never the guy that he was supposed to be because of those injuries, and so.
And one of the more storied college careers, two championships, bunch of finals, Final Fours.
Right.
Even though Leitner was on that team.
I was going to say, Leitner.
Yeah, but as great as Christian Leitner was, who might be the greatest college basketball player we've seen, he doesn't win without Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley.
Yeah. You're right. You can't say that he can't. Right. But if you had both Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley, you wouldn't have won without Leitner.
I agree.
That one guy.
That was the big 3 at the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, again, Grant Hill, and that leads into my next one, which was Christian Leitner. Christian Leitner, again, decent NBA career. 12,000 points. Everybody watched it 30 for 30.
Yeah.
But crap teams.
Yeah, never had the support. And
played on one good team in his entire career.
Maybe him coming into the NBA.
A bit of a crybaby.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he didn't handle things as well as he could have sometimes. And maybe he wasn't supposed to be the guy that he was at Duke in the NBA. If you just got a supporting cast around him, of course, yeah. If he wins a championship, if Christian Laettner wins, I think we look at his career a little bit differently than we do. He would have.
So you think if that Hawks team would have won a championship,
that.
You think his NBA career would be considered successful by everyone?
Absolutely, I really do. Because again, I get the one All-Star team and like you said, 12,000 points and like a ton of rebounds and yes, he was a good all-around player. You get that again, not like baseball, football. Are
you okay with him on my list?
Ring. Yeah,
because injury didn't derail him.
No, and well, if it's all about injuries, you're not going to like my top five.
But sure. No, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, he was healthy for most of his career.
I think that's a great What-If, man.
Good. Okay, second, and this one to me, even though it came about during the time where my favorite player was playing and my favorite team was playing, this really could have been a true Lakers-Celtics type matchup. Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
I have his number 2. Because if Penny was healthy and they somehow kept Shaq, I don't think they would have. I don't care what anybody says, even if there's not 30 for 30. They're not beating the Bulls. But I'm telling you, it's a series.
And it's worth a conversation.
And it's worth a conversation.
Yeah, right.
And Penny's another guy. 3 fantastic years in the NBA, and then boom, injuries.
I actually did. When we spoke about this a week or two ago, I told you I hadn't seen that 30 for 30 yet, and I caught the end of it, and man, I didn't realize, I don't remember it being as bad as it was.
It was bad.
I mean, it was bad, and you feel for a guy like that who had all that potential and was, really taking over the league. And they were exciting. They were fun to watch, too.
Well, again,
the Magic were a perfect fit for when Michael went away and people started kind of forgetting about the Bulls. It was awesome.
And the talk really was, and they compare it to the Kobe Shaq and then Penny Shaq. The talk really was that way. Penny was so good and Shaq was so good that you just thought it was the next dynamic duo.
Yep.
And then Shaq leaves, Penny gets hurt, then it's Shaq, Kobe, and then Kobe does what he did, which is an all-time great NBA career.
Yep.
Penny falls to the wayside because he's hurt. To me,
that is a great what-if, man. It really is. That could have been something special.
And then number 1 to me, and this is my era more than your era. And again, we never got to see him in the NBA, so I don't know. But knowing the kid, and as good as he was in college, I thought Len Bias was my number 1. What could have been? Everybody wanted to see the kid play. When the Celtics drafted him, everybody went crazy. Ape shit over it. They're like, this is the next big thing. This kid is just going to take over, and he's on the legendary Celtics team, and then tragedy strikes, does a bump of coke and dies of a heart attack. Stupid stuff.
Yep.
And
being a kid too, just
a 19-year-old. He's 19, right?
Something like that.
19-year-old kid.
Yes.
And he gets cut short. So my top 5. So Bias, Hardaway, Laettner, Hill, Greg Oden. So what do you think?
I think that's good, man. It's a good start for the top 5. Absolutely. You stuck with this got brought up because Steph Curry getting injured. What if? And you kind of followed suit with that. Which
all right. So Ryan McCloud, number 5.
So my number 5 was, and again, thought out a little bit outside the box with this. Not so much injury, but what if the Bulls? You're gonna hate this one. What if the Bulls never got rid of Tom Thibodeau? It's early, it's fresh. It's only been a year.
That's pretty recent.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. It's fresh, it's early.
Oof.
But again, this actually would affect a lot. We'll be able to tell in a few years. It can still be a what if.
Are you asking me what I think?
No, I'm just, sure.
I don't think it would have made a difference. And I think it was a mistake firing Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
They never had the offense to beat Cleveland.
So, and this is it. They'd at least be good.
Yeah. Oh, they were this year.
Good. So that's what I mean. It would make a difference. Yeah. And again, this isn't. Of course, we can look at this 1 year, and that's all. That's the only sample that we have is this 1 year without him. We consistently had one of the best records in the NBA.
Yep.
We actually consistently going to the playoffs and advancing at least. I mean, not every year, but advancing in the playoffs. Yeah, he was winning Coach of the Year. The biggest thing for me is that we could always lean on our defense. We can always lean on hustle. That's something that bothered me to no end this season.
Which Hoiberg did not.
No, you drafted the anti-Thibodeau thinking that this would cure all your ailments when you at least had discipline and guys hustling. Look, I get the feeling when I watch the Bulls this year, every single time there was a home game, that Joakim Noah's mom was like in the locker room giving him orange slices and Capri Suns. like pat on the head. What happened to this team, man? And look, injuries happen, and things go down that you can't control. But you can control getting rid of the best coach in the NBA, one of the best coaches in the NBA. Not the best, Pop. Sorry, Pop. I just say we would at least be good, and it's not just this year, moving forward.
I like it. I guess I like it. It's number 5. I wouldn't have put it on there only because coming from the 90s era, at least, or 80s era, even watching Jordan and those teams, and then the 6 championships, to me, when the Bulls were best record in the league, Derrick Rose is winning MVP. To me, it was championship or bust.
Right.
So I'm thinking in my head, does Thibodeau win us a championship? No. So, yeah.
Well, and we can actually, because this is almost looking forward. I've got one on here that'll kind of bring us back to, and I kind of kept mine all Bulls themed here, but
okay.
Moving on. Number 3, and then we'll go right into it. Number 4. Excuse me. What if Derrick Rose never got injured? So this, my thought process, and again, this almost follows suit with Thibodeau. I don't know. I don't think they end up beating the Heat. I don't think they end up beating the Cavs now. But we could get to that point if Derrick never gets hurt. You're talking about the youngest player to ever win the MVP, coming off of that year, going into the Eastern Conference Finals.
Do you consider his MVP a controversial one, considering the way LeBron played that year?
I think this is what happens in the NBA. You could look back at the 90s and go, how did Michael only, now granted it's super impressive, but how did he only win 6 NBA MVPs, league MVPs? I'm sorry, 5. He won 5 league MVPs. Michael did. He won 6 finals MVPs. That's what I'm saying. But how did he only win 5? I mean, you could look through all those years. I think this happens. I think sometimes the best player in the league doesn't win because somebody has such a spectacular season and carries their team. Dude.
And the powers that be decide, we can't just keep giving it to the same guy every year.
Look up 2010 clips of Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
It's some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. He's windmill dunking on people. He's 360 dunking on people.
So can I ask you a question?
Game
about
winner.
that
He's explosive. Yeah.
About that specifically, though, that is what made him good. It's what won him an MVP. Slashing through the lane, his speed, his agility, his way to attack the basket. He's never been a great shooter.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
still an impactful guy.
But again, let's say he doesn't get hurt. Do you really think his shooting improves enough for him to compete with, like you said, the Heat, or because the Heat are still good? By the way,
I think Derrick getting injured and being out for an entire year and then coming back and getting injured again. I think their thought process as a franchise changed, and I think if things followed suit, we would have just kind of kept adding pieces here and there. And granted, Jimmy Butler's great. I love Jimmy Butler.
Buckets is awesome.
He's awesome, and we better not trade him. And no, but I just think things would have. Again, this is the what if. Things would have been different in my opinion. And maybe we would have found a way to compete and take a series from the Heat or the Cavs.
Number 3.
All right, number 3, going back, we will, what if Michael Jordan lost a final? An NBA final. Because he lost some Eastern Conference to the Pistons back in the day.
So what if he did? What's your what if?
My what if is, if you actually look at it and put some thought into it, it changes the landscape of so much in NBA history because of the guys that Jordan took out.
Okay.
And there's another thing. It also changes the landscape of your perception of Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, but it does. There's people.
So are you saying he would no longer be considered greatest ever to play if he lost the final?
I still think he's considered greatest ever to play. I think you could always go back, and they would still, when they bring up Michael Jordan, that you don't get to see him in a championship setting ever lose. He's looked at as perfect. Colin Cowherd always said this. He ruined basketball for the next generation because LeBron literally has 0 chance of catching him because of that. He's been to what, 4 finals, 5 finals? He's only won 2.
Yeah. You're
2 for 4 or 2 for, it's not that way with him. You've got to get to this guy's level. You've got to, everybody feels like you have to win 6.
Because he
goes 6 for 6. and get 6 Finals MVPs. So that's my point.
Now, but as a Bulls fan, you'd always say he'd be the greatest, though.
Again, I think the majority of people still would. I'm saying, can you imagine? I'm saying, what if? So can you imagine?
I guess because I think it changed the entire landscape, not only of sports, but sports and entertainment. Yeah. Because he's such a well-known figure, I guess,
right,
and considered undefeated. He really is an undefeated champion because every finals he went to, he won, right?
Yes.
That's what you mean?
Yes.
So he then no longer, I guess, in one of those legends of sports history would be considered undefeated.
And I'm saying, as hard as it is to imagine,
I get it.
And as hard as it is to imagine, can you imagine like Reggie Miller one-upping him one time and getting past and getting through, or if he misses the game-winning shot against Utah and something, it's just I think it changes the perception of him in a great deal. And
I like that.
Really quick before I move on, and think of the teams that he beat, the guys who would have won ring. Oof. Charles Barkley and Carl and Stockton.
Yeah.
I mean, the list is Gary Payton
Supersonics
and Kemp. Yeah, right.
Alex Burdick's
changes. Yeah, right. All right, so on to the next one here.
Dude, I love that one.
You do like that one.
Only because it's scary.
Isn't it like terrifying to think of? Right.
For a Bulls fan
and
a Jordan fan.
Well,
maybe that's how Packer fans feel. Say if Aaron Rodgers gets another concussion, never plays again. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Just throw that out in the universe.
Yeah. Lamar Houston's out there.
So, curveball here. We'll go away from the Bulls for one. Number 2 is, what if Kobe and Shaq had A, stayed together, or, won that 4th straight title?
I think if it would have stayed together and won another title, they'd have kept going.
I agree.
Problem is Kobe documented is tough to play with. Mm-hmm. Shaq documented is also tough to play with if there's another personality like that on the team.
Right, showed with Penny, you're right.
Like, although, you know what, that's tough to say though too, because when Shaq went to Miami, that was Dwayne Wade's team.
Yeah, and he was okay with it. I think he knew at that time that and he did. I mean, his attitude was so much different.
But I also don't...
Flash is my dude.
Right, but I also don't think that Dwayne Wade has a personality like Kobe.
I agreed.
Or Kobe's like, F you, I don't,
These guys all got egos, but nobody has an ego like Kobe.
Yeah.
So, but here's my thought process.
Even though they're already considered great, in my opinion...
Lakers team, no, you're fine.
Those Lakers teams, if they'd have kept winning, would be in the all-time great teams.
And again, so you go and look at the history of the NBA. There's only a handful. I believe the Lakers, Celtics, and the Bulls are the only teams to ever do a three-peat, to ever actually complete a three-peat. Yeah, the Celtics, Lakers.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep.
And so, not a lot of teams have done it. I think they are already. You have to consider them one of the best. But the importance of because. A lot of NBA fans, and even myself included, I like the conversation of Kobe and Michael. They are always going to be compared because of how Kobe emulated his game and based his game off Michael and always was chasing that 6th ring to match him. So if they do win that 4th, because they went to 4 straight when they had Malone and Peyton, right?
Yep.
And, so if they win that 4th straight, he almost has a one-up on Michael in some regards. Michael never completed 4 straight, and... you ready to move on? That'll lead right into my first.
Yeah, fine, let's go.
So number 1, what if Michael Jordan never retired?
Which time?
And you can consider them both, because I think at the tail end there, if they can squeeze one more year with Phil and that whole team together, Rodman, Pippen, and all those guys, I think they win a 4th straight. And I think if he doesn't retire the first time, I think they win those 2 as well. The 2 that he was,
I agree, 8 straight if he stays.
Possible 9th.
The 9th I might have an issue with, not because if the whole team stays together, I agree. Of course we're going to agree, but I don't think logistically that team could have stayed together. I think they were all at their wits' end, especially with management.
Of course, and that's kind
money.
of... Yeah.
I mean, Jordan, at those last, what was the last 2 years, Jordan was signing 1-year deals.
Yeah, for like
25 million.
30 million, yeah, right.
So I think it had to end, even though we didn't want it to.
Of course, but that's kind of my thought process. And again, doing a what if, this is kind of an alternate universe where, what if they didn't bump heads? What if what if Reinsdorf wasn't such a dick?
Yeah.
And they can keep this thing together and Phil didn't bolt. And I know it bothers Michael. I don't know Michael personally. I just, that guy... Something sticks there with him.
Because he came back.
And I have 2 3-peats, and it's over. It's a wrap. If I could have strung together 8 in a row, dude,
You know what bothers him? Because he actually came back and played for the damn Wizards.
Yeah, right. He thought he could get more. And he thought he could do more.
On a terrible team.
And again, he's right. So
he didn't even look at the Bulls again because he didn't want to play for him anymore.
No.
Which drives me crazy.
I know, man. It's,
why you push the greatest player.
And look, we're almost repeating history.
They pretty much did anyways.
We're almost repeating it with some of the front office stuff. So
maybe
dude, people don't want to come to Chicago to play with us. We've done all these things, you know. Yeah. Try to attract talent. Carmelo and I, it doesn't matter whether you like him or not. These guys don't come here. So anyway, that is my top 5.
I like it.
Cool.
I like it. I think it's good.
Awesome.
Folks, let us know what you think about the top 5. Yeah, just get onto social media, on Facebook and on Twitter. Let us know what you think. Give us ideas for other top 5s. Let us know where either of us both are right or wrong. We want to know what you guys think.
Mostly right, mostly wrong.
Yeah. Last segment of the day, we're going to go into our very cool prediction, sure to go wrong. We'll try and give you one of these every once in a while, and we'll be right back.
Awesome.